Hello, welcome to Grace Garden. Today I'm going to be making a nice arrangement with you, and I hope you'll join me. We're going to start with some foliage. Not a lot, just enough to give some support to our stems, which you've heard me say before if you've seen any of my videos. And this is viburnum foliage. And you'll notice that I always recut my stems right before I place them in the vase, whether it's flowers or foliage. All of the stems are recut right before you put them in the vase. Even if it's a flower that you just cut from your garden, when you bring it into the house, you need to have your vase of water filled and ready, and cut your stems right before you put them in the vase. Even if you just came in from the garden, you need to cut your stems and plunge them into cold, cool water. That fresh cut and immediate water prevents any air from getting in their stems. An air bubble in their stems would prevent them from being able to soak up and drink up the water that you want them to be able to have. I have some nice cheerful flowers here. This is an arrangement that somebody wants to send to be cheerful and bright. So that's what I want to do, is make them bright and cheerful. And again, I'm removing what would be below the water line. And actually, I need a little bit more support in the vase, a little bit more help holding my flowers up. So I'm going to put in my aster now. A lot of times you put this in at the end, but and I don't want to add any more foliage. I want it to be mostly flowers. So I'm going to use my aster for this purpose. That adds that bulk to the arrangement without putting in too many more greens. And again, I'm going to give it a snip before I put it in, so that there's no chance for air bubbles to get into that and prevent it from drinking. And we're going to need more asters, but we're going to hold off until I get some more of my other flowers in here that I want. And we don't know whether this is going to be viewed on a console table, like a hall table, from one side, or if it's going to be viewed from all around. So we want to make sure that the back has some flowers in it as well. Add some roses. Okay. And I have some spray roses as well. And again, we want to make sure that we don't forget the back. These are called disc buds, which is an ugly name, I know, disc bud. But what it means is that normally a chrysanthemum, which this is a chrysanthemum, would have branching stems and flowers coming out at these points, and the grower took those flowers away so that the plant would force all of its energy to go there and make one giant flower instead of branching out and making many. Now, in our gardens, we pinch them back early in the season to force them to branch, because we want lots of color in the fall. But for the disc buds, the purpose is a gigantical flower. One gigantical flower on a single stem like this. So they sacrifice lots of blooms to give us one magnificent flower. I'm looking for the biggest one that I have, because I want a big one here in the front. Right there. That. And last but not least, one of my favorite flowers is Astromeria. It looks like it's very delicate and not very long lasting. And it's got a little face in there, little markings. It reminds me of a pansy, but most people think it looks like a lily. And this is actually called Peruvian lily. It grows from a bulb. I like them because they have those faces. They're a different shape than most of the round daisy looking flowers that are available. So they add texture, and they come with some leaves, some green, that add greatly to the dimension of your arrangement. I like to pull these big floppy ones off, big floppy leaves. I don't think they are helpful most of the time, but I like to cover the stems at the edge of the vase with this. And we'll pop one in the center. We're also going to put a couple more asters. Asters here. Now I want to get my hand in here and find that stem and pull it down from underneath rather than pushing it down from the top, so I won't have the mishap of breaking that stem. And we'll add one over here. And I think that's good. Now I'm going to take a couple of these aster stems just to give us a little varied height here. And to use as filler in any spots that look like they could use another little bit. I know that as a professional florist, we're taught to arrange flowers by the numbers, that you have to stick with a certain recipe and don't add extra flowers because it costs the florist money to add 1 or 2 extra flowers to every arrangement. But if you're going to do that, you might as well just not hire someone who does this as an art and get paint by numbers. Because if I have a hole and need to put a flower there, I'm going to put a flower there. I'm not going to leave a hole because there's only supposed to be 6 and I'm going to put 7. And I think I could use one right here. The person receiving the flowers is not counting the stems. They just want a pretty arrangement. And I think that that is one. So here's our flowers. And I thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to give it a like and to subscribe. Leave a comment, ask a question. Visit my website at gracegardenflorist.com. And thank you for watching. Bye now.